Hello everyone, welcome to our legendary African Tales channel from VC. We leave you alone with our story, have a good time. In the heart of a land embraced by ancient forests and vast savannas, a village lay cradled by whispering trees and soil as old as time. It was the home of Princess Adanne, beloved daughter of the ruler King Chokwuma, whose wisdom was as deep as the roots of the baobabs in his land. Adanne was a beacon of compassion and grace, revered by her people for her tender heart. But a shadow loomed over her radiant spirit. From her earliest days, she was shrouded not by a mystical aura, but by a strong malodor that clung to her very being, a stench so pungent that it even seeped into the fabric of her royal dress. As Adanne stepped into womanhood, the villagers' once hushed murmurs turned into a chorus of scorn, their sidelong glances sharpened into open contempt. At her approach, the children stepped aside, and the laughter of their peers faded into silence. The suitors, who had once dreamt of her hand, recoiled at her approach, trapping Adanne in a loneliness that covered her like the dense night sky. Dreams of love and friendship seemed as distant as the stars. Amidst the vibrant fabric of village life, a celebration ignited the night. Drums strummed in a rhythm as old as the earth, and the air was alive with the energy of the summer festival. Adanne was here, seeking solace in the shadowy edges of the merriment, only to find her presence tainting the air, her shadow extinguishing the festive flames as surely as a cloud obscuring the moon. The music stopped, the dance stumbled, and Adanne fled like a ghost of sadness under the sympathetic gaze of the moon. But from the whispers of the night a melody reached her, a bold and unyielding rhythm. A young man from beyond her world approached, unaffected by the barrier that had turned so many away. He saw Adanne not as a figure of ridicule, but as a pure spirit of joy that encouraged him to dance once more, to embrace the freedom the rhythm offered, and so she did under his gaze. In his eyes she was a spirit unchained, freed from the weight of judgment, dancing with a fervor that ignited the night. In the days that followed, Adanne and Arinze, the drummer, wove a tapestry of moments filled with laughter, stories, and music dancing in the breeze. Love blossomed like a flame, untamed and wild, and yet a shadow lingered, the gulf between their worlds, a gap seemingly too wide to bridge. Despite the social chains that tried to bind them together, Arinze's declaration of love was a promise of a future free of traditions and titles. But fate is a storm, unpredictable and violent. Like a plague, a ravenous beast, it ravaged the land, its jaws clamping the ties that bound Adanne and Arinze, isolating hearts and darkening the light of newfound love. In the grip of this darkness, Adanne was touched by the shadow of death, her body a battlefield for her soul. But from the depths of despair came a miracle, a cure that not only freed her from the clutches of death, but also swept away the shroud that masked her essence, revealing an untold radiance. When the shadow of the plague lifted, Adanne emerged, transformed not only in body, but also in spirit. But the temptation of acceptance, the siren call of self-righteousness, whispered sweet poisons and diverted her from the heart that had seen her truest self. In a moment of madness, he severed the bond that had guided him, casting aside love for the illusion of grandeur. But as the wheel of fortune turns, so does the mirror of our own reflection. Adanne's fall from grace was swift. Her aura of magic evaporated, making her once again an outcast, the subject of whispered stories of pity and scorn. In a moment of deepest despair, Arinze stood resolute, reminding her of the love she had abandoned, a love that remained unshakable despite the storm. With humility and tears, Adanne asked for forgiveness, and finally realized that true beauty lies not in the admiration of the majority, but in the eyes of the one who sees beyond the veil, into the heart within. Together, they stood as a testament to the power of love to overcome the barriers of tradition, status, and fate. A love reborn from the ashes of trial, stronger, purer, and eternal. As dawn crept over the horizon, painting the sky with golden and red strokes, the village came alive once more. Standing side by side, Adanne and Arinze greeted the new day with a determination born of their hardships. The journey ahead would not be without challenges, but they were determined to weave their destiny together, rooted in the deep, fertile soil of their love. In the days that followed, they embarked on a quest to repair the cracks that had formed during the lockdown. Together, they traveled through the village and the surrounding lands, their steps a testament to their unwavering commitment to each other and to the community that had once turned its back on them. They spoke of unity and healing, the power of forgiveness, and the beauty of diversity. Their wind-borne words began to soften the hearts of those who had once shunned them. Princess Adanne, once ensconced within the high walls of the palace, now walked among her people with a humility and grace that shone brighter than any crown. The villagers began to see her, not only as a noblewoman, but also as a beacon of hope. A reminder that even the deepest wounds can heal and that true leadership comes from the heart. Arinze's music, too, became a symbol of the village's resurgence. The rhythms that once accompanied their secret gatherings now filled the air with a pulsing vitality in the streets, a call to come together, to celebrate life in all its complexity. The drumbeats echoed the heartbeat of the earth, a reminder of the enduring bond between people and the land that sustains them. As the seasons passed, Adanne and Arinze's love blossomed, a living testament to the renewal of the village. Their union, once thought impossible, was now a bridge between worlds, between the past and a hopeful future. The wedding day that would be etched in the memory of the village for generations to come was born. It was a celebration that transcended the boundaries of tradition, a fusion of old and new, a dance of shadow and light. The ceremony took place beneath the ancient baobab, its branches reaching skyward like the outstretched arms of ancestors, its shadow bearing witness to the vows made under its shade. Surrounded by their people, Adanne and Arinze pledged their hearts to each other, their voices weaving a spell of love and devotion that would protect them through challenges and triumphs yet to come. In the days and years that followed, the village flourished like never before. Under their joint leadership, new bridges, both literal and figurative, were built, connecting the village to the surrounding communities, fostering trade, understanding, and friendship. The arts flourished as Arinze's music school became a center of learning, attracting students from far and wide, eager to study the rhythms that once healed a heart and united a village. With her deep empathy and insight, Adanne led her people into a future where every individual is valued, every voice is heard, and community spirit is the bedrock on which everything is built. Her once solitary figure in the palace window became a symbol of enduring strength and wisdom, a leader who learned that true beauty lies in the courage to be vulnerable, to change, and to love unconditionally. In the years that followed their union, Adanne and Arinze became the life and soul of their land, their love story woven into the fabric of the community's identity. Their reign was defined not by the wealth of their palaces or the splendor of their courts, but by the flourishing of the land and the prosperity of its people. Once a place of whispered judgments and veiled glances, the village became a beacon of acceptance and unity, drawing those seeking refuge from the storms of the world. With her innate ability to see beyond the surface, Adanne supported initiatives that nurtured the talents and dreams of her people. She established gatherings where stories like hers were shared and celebrated, and taught that strength often lies in embracing one's weaknesses. Under her guidance, the village became a tapestry of tales, each thread a story of triumph, a story of overcoming, a story of love overcoming the obstacles erected by fear and doubt. By infusing the magic of her music into the village, Arends bridged the gap between her and Adanne for the first time. Her songs, enriched by the rhythms of earth and sky, became the heartbeat of the village, pulsating with the vibrant life force of the earth. He founded a festival that attracted musicians and dancers from far and wide, transforming the village into a crucible of cultural exchange and artistic innovation. Celebrated at the height of the harvest month, it became a symbol of community resilience and unity, a dance of joy and gratitude that echoed through the hills and valleys. Together, they went beyond the borders of their villages and forged alliances with neighboring lands. Their diplomatic efforts, based on a genuine desire for peace and cooperation, brought stability and prosperity to the region. Adanne's wisdom and Arens's charisma opened long-closed doors and wove together the fabric of communities that stood strong against the challenges that came with the changing seasons. As the years passed, Adanne and Arens were blessed with children, each bearing the sparks of their parents' spirit and love. Growing up in accordance with their parents' legacy, their children grew up understanding the depth of their heritage and the responsibility that comes with it. They learned to listen to the land and people, to lead with compassion, and to find beauty in the diversity that surrounds them. The royal couple taught them that leadership is about serving from within, not ruling from above, a lesson that shaped the future leaders of their country. Adanne and Arens's legacy extended far beyond the borders of their village, inspiring tales and songs that crossed lands and seas. Their story became a legend, a beacon of hope, and a testament to the power of love and unity in the face of adversity. It was said that on clear nights, when the stars hung low and the moon bathed the earth in a silvery glow, the gentle echo of drums and the soft whisper of a love that lasted through the ages could be heard. In the twilight of their years, Adanne and Arens often found themselves under the ancient baobab, looking out over the land that grew under their care. They spoke of dreams realized, of storms weathered together, of laughter and tears that wove the rich tapestry of their lives. As the sun sank below the horizon, casting the sky in shades of fire and gold, they knew that their love, rooted deep in the earth and as vast as the sky, would endure as a legacy of light for generations to come. This is the end of our story. To watch more such intriguing and fascinating African folktales, you can subscribe to our channel right now. We also welcome your likes and comments on our video. Stay with love.